Hello everybody, welcome back to Planet X News. This is Scott from the Nibiru channel, September 15th, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, what you're looking at on your screen right now is our Magnetopause model. And going back, almost a week now, we were not able to get any updated information from this model past September 9th. Now, usually this information is updated pretty quick, and they do stay on top of this. And the Magnetopause and the magnetosphere, if none of you are familiar with these videos, this bow shock right here, this imaginary arch, this actually protects our planet from solar radiation. Well, for days and days, this information was just basically stuck on September 9th. Now, I check this very, very often throughout each and every day, just about every 4 hours as it gets updated. We're looking for impacts to our bow shock and our magnetopause. Well, whenever I see the dates not progressing, it's telling me something. It's telling me they're hiding something. And that's why I investigate everything. And I dig very deep into all of this. Well, finally, the information gets updated. Pay very close attention to the date, September 10th, 2017. Time, 10:16:17 a.m. UTC time. Now, I'm going to use my cursor right here, and I'm just going to move forward. Oh, just a little bit. So we went from the 10th of September at 10:16 a.m. and immediately we find, well, pretty close to 11 hours of data once again missing. So we move from September 10th at 10 a.m. to September 11th at 2100 hours. So, just about 10, 11, 12 hours, just, gone, missing. But everything on the model, the Magnetopause model, everything here just looks completely normal. But in actuality, folks, what occurred in those hours, what occurred and what happened to the Magnetopause, we'll never know how much of an impact the Earth took from a CME and also our rogue planet, our rogue brown dwarf star, the object that we refer to as Planet X. Let me show you something. Now, this is the SOHO C2 coronagraph. Now, I showed you these photographs that I captured once again of this large spherical object, and it's actually striped. There's another object right here. There's another smaller object right here. And my good friend down in Australia, Prep Aussie, and members of his investigative group, they've actually captured some other objects right within this coronal mass ejection. Now, I want you to look down here at the date and the time. You're looking at September 10th. Now remember, this information was deleted from the Magnetopause model. Okay? We saw those hours from 10:16 to 21:44. That's just about 11, close to 12 hours, just completely missing. Now, a massive impact to our bow shock would have collapsed our bow shock. It would have collapsed our Magnetopause. And we've seen this many, many times before. And it's quite dangerous for all of us here on Earth. It's quite dangerous for our planet. So, what was occurring that they had to delete all of that information? Well, I guess they weren't counting on me finding this massive object near the sun, once again enveloped in this coronal mass ejection. Now, just last night during a live stream, I showed all of you the stereo ahead core 2 imaging. And in this imaging, we saw 2 coronal mass ejections. They're wanting you to think that that is Mercury transiting the sun in its orbit all the way around the sun. So on the 6th of September, you'll see this object over here and quickly moving towards the sun. What you'll also see is more missing data, because the object is clearly moving, and then you'll see a skip, and then it progresses more, and it traverses all the way around the backside of the sun in less than 2 days. Now listen, folks, you know, Mercury is a very tiny planet. Yes, it only has an 88-day orbit around the sun, but I find it very hard to believe that this little small planet of Mercury makes its way all the way around the backside of the sun and starts coming out the other side in less than 2 days. Now, the reason why they want you to think that's Mercury, and it's not. I showed all of you the information last night that I've captured on the core 2. It's not Mercury. It's our planet X. And I've also shown that the planet X object has other spherical objects orbiting around it in a very, very tight orbit. The pictures, they're all there, and we'll go over them again. But I just wanted to show you that this is the deceit. Okay, this is the deception. And ladies and gentlemen, they wouldn't go to these extents if there wasn't anything out there. If there wasn't anything to hide, well, what's the problem? Why delete the information? And we catch them doing this all the time. I've been catching them for years, deleting this information, withholding it from the world population, and it's just plain wrong. Now, this was a massive, massive explosion on the sun. This would have definitely impacted our magnetopause and caused a lot of problems. And we're already seeing today the increase in earthquake activity. Well, we've actually been seeing it for about 48 hours now, but it seems to be picking up. So I'm going to go ahead and just play this for you. And I'll start this. And, well, it's in reverse. Let's go forward. Now you're going to see this massive explosion. I have this in slow motion. And you're going to see the coronagraph, the C2 coronagraph, just go absolutely crazy with all of this debris, all of these particles. And this lasts for a very, very long period of time. That was a massive CME on the sun. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and stop this here because right now at this point in time, this is insignificant. Now, moving back over here to the stereo core 2 imaging. Okay, we're going to go ahead and reload this. Bring it up here so you can see it. Now, this is on the 10th. Now, I didn't take this all the way back to the 6th, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and do that because I'm going to show you that this object moving in created 2 coronal mass ejections. So let's just go back to the 6th and we'll run it out to the 13th. Let's see what it gives us. Now, I showed everybody this information last night during my live stream. This is going to go very rapidly while it loads. And you're going to see missing time. But, you know, right now, regardless of the missing time, it just doesn't matter. We know the object is there. Now, later on today, I'm going to be investigating the approach of this object. And as you can see, as it's approaching, you'll see that skip, missing time. About, I think, 6 hours was missing there. Now, as this object approaches the sun, and we're going to go ahead and just speed it up a little bit, you'll see the sensors on the coronagraph, they just go absolutely crazy. The object moves back behind the sun, and then within 2 days, it's back out there. Now, you say to yourself, okay, you know, yeah, that could be Mercury. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not Mercury. It's not the planet Mercury. You can see how the sun reacts to this object. And this is what we keep saying. The sun is having very, very, very violent reactions to this object as it comes in and it orbits our sun. Now, an ordinary planet wouldn't do this to the sun. Mercury's been orbiting the sun close by for God knows how long. And as I was investigating these photographs, each and every still image, and investigating this video, well, at least half of it, I showed everybody last night what I found. So we're going to go ahead and just stop this right there. And I'll pull up the images that I captured. Now, there's the object right there. You don't see it too well in the actual footage because there was some doctoring going on with that footage. I showed everybody last night, look real close here, these flames that are coming from the sun, these are digital overlays into the image. You can tell by the pixelization, they're very, very small. You usually see something like this whenever you are trying to add overlays into an image. You'll see it up here. They're not even attached to the sun. They're just completely detached. They're just fake. These flames, they're fake. Completely fake. Here's your object. Clear as a bell. That is what was orbiting the sun. And this object was not alone. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you a few more photographs. Now this was coming from the C2. This was the original photograph. I just grabbed a screenshot from it. Here, I'll zoom in right for you. Now you can see the fake flames, how highly pixelated they are. They don't match anything else in the photograph. But yet you can see this massive object right there, staring you right in the eye. Now I just put it through some different filters, and when I was doing this late last night, you know, you can clearly see these flames, this ejection. Again, this is an overlay. This was put in digitally to basically probably hide something that was back here, and they missed this object. They missed it. Clear as a bell. They put some fake flames in there. You can see, I'll zoom all the way in. Look at the tiny pixels. Look at the rest of the photograph. Look at the tiny pixels. So they faked some of this. Now, as you saw in the Core 2 imaging, you saw that little light source moving around the sun from the right side, around the back, and out through the left. But what you don't see is whenever you zoom in closely, now you can see what was actually there. Now, it's ever so faint in this photograph, but after working with the photographs for several hours and analyzing all of them and putting some different filters, you now start to see what is clearly there. There's your little flash. There's your little light source that you see moving around the backside of the sun and out towards the left, as we see it right here in this position. But this This is what they were trying to hide. Right there. And this big object right here, ladies and gentlemen, was not alone. It was not alone. And I'm just going to go ahead and skip through. This is a zoomed in version of this photograph. I showed everybody this last night. And here's your object right here. And you have another sphere right here. You have another darker sphere right here with another small sphere right here. You have another one right here. And back here, faintly, you can see another one. Now, I'm going to zoom in here. You can see another sphere here. There's possibly another one here. Now, we're going to have these photographs worked on a little bit better to see if we can clear them up so we can get a little bit more defined detail. Now, this is just a little bit of a lighter version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a sixth object back here. And naturally, we can't see behind this object. So I'm sure that there are more objects orbiting this body right there. The fact of the matter is, folks, they're definitely trying to hide it. At this point in time, they're doing everything they can to hide it. But things are getting worse. There's no doubt about it. Now, as that object progressed and moved further away from the sun, this is where we come up with one of the last images. And look how large it is. And this is when it's moving away from the sun. So it came in over here around the back side of the sun in its orbit, and now it's moving out here. And this is one of the original images without any color manipulation. And you just have to be very, very quick to catch it. Here, and I'll zoom in. And you can see all kinds of debris. I don't know if this is a dust cloud, a gas cloud, but you can definitely see a lot of definition in objects or debris, whatever they may be. It's basically enveloped this entire object as it passed by. Now the sun is way back here, and the sun is recognized by this white circle right here. So this object came in, it made its orbit around the backside of the sun, another massive explosion on the sun, and it starts to progress out in its tight orbit. It is in a tight orbit around the sun. There's no doubt in my mind. Here's another look at it. And this is just another filter. This will give you a little bit of a better perspective. And you could see it right there. And this is what they're trying to hide, ladies and gentlemen. Our planet X, as we call it. It is what it is. Now, this photograph here, this was captured by one of the group members from Prep Aussie's group. And I haven't had much time to review this photograph, but you know, we're all in a group and we're all trying to do our own investigations, our own research, and we share all of the information. And folks, that's what this is all about. Sharing the information. Two heads are better than one, and in our case, we have a lot of fantastic group members that are really putting the hours in and doing the research. And I haven't had time to work with this photograph, but this was captured by the sun, and you can clearly see this round object. These are perfect spheres. There are other spheres here, here, here. There are so many. And it almost resembles, pretty close, to the planet of the crossing. Very, very close. I believe Prep is going to be investigating this photograph a little bit more also. And this was one of the original photographs that I snagged last night off of the Core 2 imaging. showing the fake flames. And this is the original capture. You can see no changing contrast, no nothing. You can see these were inlaid into this image right there. They're not even attached to the sun. None of them. Just a bad job at doctoring the image right there. It's not even attached. And then what do you see? Oh, there's our object right there. Right there. And I'm sure there may be something else there within the image. And throughout the day today, I'm going to be working with these photographs. And we're going to see what kind of a detail we bring out. But here, once again, you can see how they overlaid this digital image of a flame, of the CME burst. It just doesn't match the rest of the photograph, folks. You wouldn't have something like this. These pixels do not match the rest of the image. And then whenever you zoom in, what do you see? Same little square image. What are they trying to do? They're trying to hide that object in the images because they know that we're looking at it. They know that we're looking at it intensely. Okay, once again, look at the flames. Completely pixelized. It takes a lot of work to go over all of this information and, you know, to research it. But here you go. You can see here's part of the arch of this object right there. And right here, it's very, very faint. And it does take quite a while to go through all of these images. And I'm just going to show you one more here, and then I'm going to get myself back to work. But as you move in and you zoom in, now you can see the larger sphere. You could also see the other spheres that are right orbiting around this object in a slight incline back and forth around. You can clearly see them. And right back here through this line of the occulter, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it, but I can clearly see a perfect sphere right here. It's slightly shaded, but you can clearly see it on my end. There's another one right here. There's another one right here. And there's another one right here with another smaller object right here. So, folks, the bottom line is they're trying to do their best to hide everything. It's just not going to work with people like me and Prep Aussie and his group and our physicist and many others that are out there doing hardcore research and investigating Planet X. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this object, these objects, are a very, very severe threat to our sun and our planet and possibly the human race. And that's why we investigate. That's why we do the research. That's why we're trying to uncover all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you stay tuned to Planet X News. Thank you for watching.